Good day everyone, I am Kristan Rimando, your host for today. Let us now welcome our gorgeous and sexy guest for today, Miss Jemina Alnas, Miss Marilen de Cuesta, and Miss Monette Tugade. So now we are here to share with you all our insights about movable and immovable heritage tourism. So now let us move to our topic, movable and immovable heritage tourism. So what comes to your mind when you hear that word?
Like other types of heritage, it provides historical information about people's experiences, way of living, and relationship with the government. And movable heritage can prompt people to remember experiences and reflect family and community histories. And also, it can help migrant communities keep their cultures alive and maintain traditions and practices.
These are the things such as lands, artifacts, buildings that have historical value in the country. You can see them in the museums, parks, and historical places.
Movable and immovable heritage is part of cultural heritage tourism. These are the artifacts that can be felt and touched with bare hands. Mostly, people can see these things in normal places such as museums, parks, churches, or places that have been part of our history such as Intramuros in Manila, Vigan in Ilocos Sur, Corregidor Island, and many more.
So the three of you, can you give me an example of movable and immovable heritage tourism?
The examples of immovable heritage are Rizal Park, Quiapo Church, and Intramuros. For movable heritage, it can be artifacts that have been moved or displayed to museums for its preservations and protection, such as the cedula that have been torn by the Katipuneros who joined the Himagsikan in the year 1896.
You said that the cedula is movable, right? So I thought movable heritage is the things that can be moved easily, such as the clothes of our indigenous tribes, which are called bahag. They allow people to wear bahags and they even let people buy bahag. So, but cedula has been moved to museum, which means it becomes immovable since this was displayed for decades. At first, it was movable since it was found in Balintawak. But now, it became immovable because they move it now to our National Museum.
Yes, you're right. This topic is really confusing, and oftentimes people misunderstood the real meaning of movable and immovable heritage. Thank you for your corrections, by the way.
I cannot disagree with you, Miss Mina. It is very confusing, especially when this topic is very new to us. So, about you, Miss Marilen, can you give me an example of movable and immovable heritage tourism?
Paintings, sculptures, buildings, images, and etc. has some examples of immovable heritage. While in movable, I can say that painting once became movable before they became immovable. Just like what you say, Mr. Mina, it's hard to give exact examples of movable heritage, to be honest.
Somehow I agree with that, but I can't think of exact example of heritage tourism. And how about you, Miss Monette? Can you give me an example of movable and immovable heritage tourism?
Well, best examples I can give for immovable heritage are parks, statues, churches, and historical places such as Vigan and Intramuros. And for movable heritage, honestly, movable things such as artifacts, images of saints, etc. has become immovable once they stayed in one place. And I think there are no such things that can be movable for a long time. My professor in University of the East once said that movable things become immovable once it stays in one place. It only become movable because of changes of ownerships, but after that, it will become immovable for good.
Well, I think what you said is the most simplest and easiest way to define or the definition of immovable and immovable heritage tourism.
I hope I explained it well.
So sadly, this is the end of our video and I hope you learned something in our topic. So thank you Miss Marilen, Miss Monette, and Miss Mina.
Well, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be part of this video and to share my knowledge with you guys.
Anytime. I enjoyed being your guest for today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me as your guest today, and I hope you learned something from me and from Miss Jemina and also from Miss Marilen.
Of course, I am looking forward to be our guest again in our next video. So, God bless and thank you very much. Once again, I am your host, Kristan Rimando, a proud tourism student from the University of the East Manila.